Today is September 17th, 2023. Again, last night when I got home on the 16th, well, yesterday outside in North Canton, a young blonde girl showed up and people act like it was Michelle again, as you know, off in the distance. She was telling kids outside, don't say a word to her. The worst thing she did wrong was bend over and properly. Even the drug dealers know that. And that they photoshopped everything on her before. You can't let somebody a child molester for bending over properly. Okay? And that agent stole the money. Okay? Nobody's to say a word. Alright. I got home, I went out to my car. There's a car sitting 2 parking lots away. He said, I found tape of him saying stuff like that, or saying all that stuff to her, where the agent on her recorded line was so horrible, committed crimes. He said, I got him saying all that stuff to her. Okay? We laughed. Well, they already sold it. Where they sold the login, they sold those agents mocking me for being human trafficked, and I know who they were talking about, and what they were talking about, and how they were scamming me and laughing at me. Told you where I called the hotline. They drove me up so bad I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days so they could get a hold of him. Where he called the next day and I couldn't wake up. Rivers of tears. I kept saying I can't sleep. And they who's that? Let it go to voicemail. And then wake up later, listen to this agent, called me back. And I rolled over, I can't. And rivers of tears. I had to take her to the bathroom, take her to the refrigerator. Third day, I'm sitting on the front porch, I'm literally holding my head. What's wrong with me? I feel like I'm drunk and I don't look drunk. What's wrong with me? I get air in my face. And I'm too scared to leave the property. They're showing back up here. And I'd already had 4 attempts on my life. I gotta get air in my face. I gotta call that guy back. So I thought if I walk up and down the property, I look crazy. So I put the lawnmower in my hand and I started pacing up and down. And I thought, Sarah, I already gave the hotline Sarah's number. Gave her old manager and a coworker that her old manager and coworker went to work with Katie at Ashcroft and Oak. And Sarah was still at sales. And I called Sarah and said, okay, if I give him your information? Yes, I'm scared for you. It's getting darker and scarier the way she's talking about it. So I got changed. I went out, got a car, put the agent's number on it. Made an excuse right before church to go down there and drop it off at the mall. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton, Paul Paymer, God, Days Face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off as he's screaming, how dare you bring the FBI up here with threat on her life. Women walk up, he knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. I have bruises all over me, been thrown up, lost 18 pounds, and a severe swollen personal infection. Been treated by Altman family physicians all summer long, and they're giving me iron pills thinking I'm becoming anemic because I'm bruising all over, and here I'm being drugged, being raped. Stuff for migraine headaches, stuff for vomiting, and stuff for the personal infection, pills and creams. I was so bad I couldn't hardly go to the bathroom. And nobody's putting it together. People are breaking in and violating me in my own home. I go in and sit down, and they come in and say it again. And he said if she was going to be vacant, she was and vacant she got well, that family was screaming. He didn't care what they did to her. He was going to turn her back over to him. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go, get out in the truck. He's like, I'd kill you myself. And he's swinging, trying to hit me in the truck till I almost jumped out on the highway. I ran for morning, I got home. Well, the next morning, I'm scared out of my mind. I've had 4 attempts. The bad people are showing back up. Dave's already held me down, how he hired 2 men to kill me, and I've already found out how the churches are involved. And that was Strange's lie. Strange made up that lie so Dave could cheat. I found out right before the case that someone said, well, he was supposed to make it up to the single church women. I said, he better not have been making nothing up to no church women. Well, he was supposed to take him out behind your back and teach you a lesson and date them. That's allowing open adultery behind my back. And it was a scam. David Strange came up. He made it up. I had a medication error, made me swell up, almost died. They called it medical malpractice and told me to sue those doctors 20 years ago. Okay? And it took me 9 months of getting well. Strange made it up. He had a very low education and high school diploma from the 1950s. My sister was his daughter-in-law and said, you know, they always think Strange is so smart. He's only got a high school diploma from the 1950s. He can only add and subtract, multiply and divide, and read and write, and that's it. He only got his minister's license because a bunch of ministers came across the parking lot, taught some Bible classes, and they signed a bunch of ministers' license. And he only got this church because he did a land contract, gave the guy what he wanted, and so much proceeds from the church for 20 years. And if he missed one payment, he lost everything. He bought the building out from underneath that guy. That's the only reason why he's where he's at now. He's never went to college, nothing. He just puts on airs that he's so smart. He's not. Okay? So he's making this up so his friend can cheat. And they worship him like a god. He could have told them the sky was pink and the grass was purple. And if you didn't see it that way, pray till you did. And they would. They worshipped him like a god. The so-called godless people, godly people, they allow open adultery. They hire the drug cartel to drug, beat, and rape people they don't like. Getting even with me for his lie. He was a low-educated minister, making up that lie on me. He lied on Dave White, that he blasphemed God, tried to kill himself, and lied to switch churches. He lied on everyone that he didn't like. He destroyed them. Okay? All right. So, the next day I called that agent back. I have rivers of tears. I'm scared out of my mind. And I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He's like, you liar. I said, well, you tried to kidnap me before. You liar, Teresina. He said, I'm describing a known serial killer. And he's calling me a liar for the human traffickers. The authorities know what I look like. He's calling me a liar. That's who I let go. He said, you either say you're lying or arrest you. Was there a camera above that pension? I don't know. I said, well, the Pizza Hut lady got paid. You liar. The banker was yelling at her. You either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. It's like fine, whatever. Then he blows me into more false statements and starts laughing at me on a recorded line. Okay? And then he's like, why would the FBI help a person like you? They've tried to kill me, so. They're gonna try to kill me, so. Like, murder is not good enough for the FBI. He's like, give me a real reason. Well, some other agent, well, we could use Pete's tape. We went through stuff. I don't even know who Pete is. I've still never talked to him. Okay, I only know who he is because 9/18/19, his picture was on the wall and some little white Santa Claus was following me around. That's the only reason I know who he is. I still never talked to him. I don't even know who Pete is. And he's like, I said, what are you talking about? He said, stop, Gino, no. And then he yelled something about Pete again. I've never talked to him. I didn't even know who he was talking about. He said, stop, Gino, no. Drug confession, Photoshop, shower scene, and stalking tapes. They're yelling out my rapist's name and the guy that's been drug, beaten, raping me and stalking me and laughing at me for being his victim. And they're laughing at me on a recorded line. I tell him, he's like, give me a real reason. I said, well, my brother-in-law, Craig, was a private consultant for the FBI on restricted war weapons, worked under Dick Cheney, traveled the world. Makes him CIA, basically. And I gave him his name. He's like, well, you know, I can move you somewhere, but it doesn't come with any money, and I just leave you. You sign off everything. I said, I don't have any money saved up. I'd be homeless. I can't do that. He's like, well, if you get me information on Dave and the churches, he said, I'll open an informant case. He said, it comes with $5,000 a month. I'm opening an account today. He said, He said, I'll make sure no man touches you. He said, I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. And then the life of peace is an informant, nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you would we ever do this for. We'll always put it back to the traffic ticket, even when you tell. And you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case, and you'll have that money to live on from now on. And then he threatened me if I told. And then an officer showed up the next day that he talked to Dave, and my case started. September 27th or 28th of 18, Karen Earl Meadows. He opened a real case, and he stole the money the first day and left me up there to die. In the middle of a drug cartel. A bunch of drug dealers came together and ran a scam off an open FBI case. I found out from the officers they were told not to help me and just to keep an eye on me. That would be illegal. That's never happened. But with being a protected custody case, with statements, it's legal surveillance. Because I've talked to Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, even the FBI went to jail for being in your home outside a protected light case. It's illegal to look or listen, and nobody can be in your home but protected light cases with statements. And that agent had agreed to protect you, or they couldn't even be in your home, and it would be illegal for them to even look or listen to it. Nobody can. My friend from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office is a fraud scheme. He said where they kicked in your door on the 6th day, they probably did set up on cameras. They probably did Photoshop that shower scene where they're laughing at you for it, and where you have bruises you couldn't explain, throwing up, dizzy, and heart racing, and all those other things. You probably were being drugged and beat and drugged up and told to say something. They made a big mistake. They did it in your home. Nobody's allowed in your home, and nobody can look or listen. He said it's a fraud scheme, as if they could do that. I talked to the Portage County Sheriff. What these people did is illegal. I said it's the Fourth Amendment. Yes. Nobody, that police and agencies can only be in a home under the life of statements. Yes. Repentant police. Yes. Masculine police. It's not admissible what they did. So they were laughing at a human trafficking victim that was being scammed, and they're yelling out the perpetrator's name, the girlfriend's dad and his drug friends, for drug beating, raping me, and framing me, and they're laughing at me that I didn't know. Huh? He stole the money the first day and left me up there. Officers have showed up, and how bad they felt. They all knew that agent left me up there. Then they found out how he talked to me. And then they found out he didn't pay me, and he had to have done all this to steal the money. December 2nd, 22, Wendy's Alliance. I'm in there with the day program. One of the officers assigned to me, is that the one that church tried to have killed? Yes. I heard she didn't get any money out of this. He said, no, it's that one guy from the case stealing every dime since the first day. Michelle yelled at these people to stop saying stuff to me. That idiot already admitted he photoshopped everything. September 3rd, 23, she's yelling it across schools. My car's bugged, my phone's down. They sold videos of her admitting it was photoshopped. She broke up with Dave right after the divorce. Tomorrow I've been divorced 4 years. They broke up right afterwards. Do you think an 18-year-old was really going to stay with a 60-year-old man? Like they set up in Akron on Thursday. Told construction workers, don't you say a word to her. She's never even met the man that did it to her. And he did all this for his daughter to get everything. And then he didn't even work out. He needs to realize how not funny it is, what he did to her. How dangerous is he? He should have been nailed to that agent's desk. There was no quarter. The Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. Your places, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. So why would your husband's girlfriend's dad and drug friends be able to drug you up, frame you in your own home? The Constitution says it shall not be violated. No searches, no seizures without probable cause warranted with an oath or affirmation of the people, places, and things to be searched and seized. There's no court order. Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own, who's Pete's Michelle's dad, his girlfriend's dad. I found out later. See, that's where it's just a big scam. Yesterday in North Canton, a girl was outside and was telling kids in the neighborhood, don't say a word to her. The worst thing she ever did wrong was bent over improperly, you can't list somebody a child molester for that. And all the drug dealers even know it. She only bent over improperly. And they've already admitted they photoshopped everything, and that agent stole all the money. Nobody say a word. Some women walked by at my apartment loud last night. She called us up and told us not to say a word to her. You can't legally say a word to me anyways. They were stalking me. They can't ever tell a real police officer they did it. They can't tell the prosecutor's office they did it. Why? They have to arrest them for stalking. RICO charges, drugs, kidnapping, rape, human trafficking. They go to jail for it. See, that's why even people have been saying for over a month the FBI made fun of her for being human trafficked. She was being drugged, being raped, and not realizing what happened to her. How would you like to wake up, running in the bathroom, throwing up, your heart's racing through your neck, you're dizzy, your head's pounding, and you got these bruises you can't explain, then you get a severe swollen personal infection, you go into the doctor, I don't know what's wrong with me. Did you fall? No. Well, maybe you're becoming anemic. We'll get you some iron pills, we'll get you something for your headache, throwing up, and something for that severe personal infection. Dave kept touching me so I wouldn't realize he was human trafficking me out of my own home. Sororities pulled stuff like this, and it was on like 2020 or primetime, of them stalking people in their apartments, photoshopping scenes, and I think some kid even killed itself. And then another girl got drugged up and told to say stuff, and then a bunch of guys raped her, and then they called, because her boyfriend was part of the sorority, said go over and have sex with her so she don't report it, and realize what happened to her. And they took videos of it, showed it to the wrong person, and they went to the police and they arrested him. That's where a week ago, Thursday, those construction workers were outside. It was a mean teenage stunt what they pulled. You know, the drugs and told to say stuff, and the photoshopping of a shower scene. It was a mean teenage stunt what they did. But it's not funny because they raped her. It's not funny they beat me either. And they drugged me. What if where my heart was racing, it could have went into a heart attack? See what I mean? None of this is funny. And then people run around, oh, we can get money. They can't even enter it. It's doggy day.